Hello everybody, hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and I hope you guys are enjoying your Black Friday today. We're going to be looking at Winter Storm Ezekiel, which is currently dumping heavy snowfall over parts of the Rocky Mountains and parts of the Midwest, and then it's going to track into parts of the Northeast and Great Lakes. And we're going to have to talk about this coastal low pressure that might form somewhere between Long Island and the Delmarva, somewhere in between there. The positioning, even if it's just a couple miles different, could have a drastic difference in where this storm brings the heaviest snowfall to. So we're going to start off here with the National Weather Service, and in these purples, those are winter storm advisories. So that's over parts of Northern California, stretching into the Northern Rockies and parts of the Midwest. Then inside of that, engulfed inside of that, we have winter storm warnings in the pinks over a large portion of the Rockies and Midwest. That includes California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, and then a good portion of Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and then into northwest Wisconsin. Then we have winter storm watches in these blues, and that's where you could be getting about 3 to 6 inches of snowfall from this event. And then in these reds, we have two pockets. We have this pocket right here in South Dakota, northern Nebraska, and eastern Wyoming. And then we have this one county near Duluth, Minnesota, and that's where you have a blizzard warning right there. So some blizzard-like conditions over those areas. Then we have some wind advisories, so high wind warnings, high wind watches in effect in these gold areas. And then we have air quality alerts over parts of Texas and New Mexico. And then flood advisories, flash flood watches, flood warnings, all of that over parts of southern Arizona. Now, we're gonna look at the current satellite imagery, and this goes from about this morning into pretty much right now, and you can really see that Gulf moisture, well, not that Gulf moisture, that Pacific moisture, I meant to say, getting pulled up and streamed up from parts of just near Baja California, and to the west of Mexico, and all that moisture is going to be pulled up into Ezekiel, and then it's going to make its track into parts of the Northeast. So we're going to really be tracking this throughout this video, so make sure that you do stay tuned. Now, here's the current convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. So we have a marginal risk for today, and that's over parts of eastern Oklahoma, westernmost Arkansas, and right around the Dallas area, northern Texas, northeast Texas. Then you have a 2% chance of a tornado occurring within a 50-mile radius of your location in this area right near Dallas, and then into southeastern Oklahoma, and then a 5% chance of wind damage for that same area in that tornado risk, and then a hail risk, a bit more widespread, 5% chance of that as well. The big story is going to be for tomorrow. So this would be for Saturday, and we have that area of severe weather. Today it would be right around here, and then it's going to be right around here for tomorrow. So we have a slight risk in effect for slight risk for parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Texas, and that's where we could be seeing a 15% chance, 5 to 15% chance of severe weather in those areas for Saturday. Here's your current power outages from poweroutage.us. They track how many power outages there are per state, and there's actually quite a good amount. If we zoom in here to California, you see San Bernardino County seeing quite a bit of outages. That's mainly from rainfall and snowfall in some of the mountains. And then getting into Northern California, you see a few thousand without power in those counties. Then into Arizona, the real one, 6,000 out in the northernmost north central county of Arizona, and then really the central spine of Arizona seeing some pretty good power outages. Once you get to the east and west of there, where you're not dealing with snowfall or as much snowfall or rainfall, not as many power outages. Now here's the current National Weather Service's forecast as far as snowfall is concerned, and over parts of the north central U.S., you're seeing a good foot plus, and some areas seeing 2 feet of snow. That's near Duluth, Minnesota, where you had that blizzard warning, and then near that intersection with Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota, that's where you had blizzard warnings as well. Some areas looking to receive another 2 feet of snowfall. Added on that you already had snowfall in some of these areas from Winter Storm Dorothy, which occurred just a couple of days ago. Now over to the Northeast, this only goes through Monday morning, to point out. And they have, so most of the snowfall for this region, I would say, is going to occur from Monday into Tuesday, according to some models. So this only goes into Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. So until then, they don't go that far out. They only go a couple of days out. So about 1 to about 5 inches, anywhere in this lightest blue shade to a pretty dark shade of blue. And then in those darker blues, that's about 4 to 6 to about 10 inches of snowfall. So you see interior parts of Massachusetts and then interior parts of upstate New York seeing seeing some areas seeing around 6 to 7 inches of snowfall. Now here's the forecasted ice accumulation, and generally around 1/10 of an inch of snowfall, but some areas seeing close to 3/10 of an inch. I was looking, and yeah, right around here in Wisconsin, they're forecasting right around 3/10 of an inch. So that could accumulate on the roadways and create some pretty tough travel for those areas. Now we're gonna look at the GFS model, the NAM 12KM model, and then also the European model, and kind of try to form a consensus on what they're showing. So here, as we go throughout the day today, it starts to move out from the Rockies, and it moves into the north central U.S. And by Saturday morning, it's pretty much all in the north central U.S. So now, if we zoom into the eastern U.S., we see it moves into the north central U.S. by Sunday or Saturday night, and then you start to see this move a bit eastward, and you're seeing this band of snowfall start to develop over parts of the Northeast starting by Sunday afternoon. This would be for mainly a southern New England storm and parts of northern New England as well, but mainly the brunt is going to be right around from, I would say, southeast New Hampshire, southwest Maine, into parts of Boston, and then down into parts of northwest Connecticut or northwest Connecticut. That's really gonna be your primal area. This zone right here should be your best shot of seeing some pretty good accumulating snowfall from this system on around 3 to 6 inches by Monday morning, Monday morning, starting to spin up, and it's starting to form that coastal low pressure. Now, yesterday, the European model, which we'll show at the very end of the video, yesterday's one of the European model had this low pressure somewhere right around here, and it brought about a foot of snowfall all around here. Now, that doesn't look likely. It had the snowfall really primarily for these regions. Now, most of the models have been forecasting, and the European has backtracked on that, and it's starting to show this again, where the prime location for this snowfall is right in here. But we'll have to see. We still have a couple of days, and it's very interesting how we're still so uncertain with this system, even though this system's going to start impacting the Northeast in just by Sunday morning, so just about 2 days from when I'm recording this. Now, by Tuesday or by Monday night, snowfall still lingers, but then it starts to get all out of here by Tuesday morning, and then just some lake effect snow persisting. Now, we're going to look at the Northeast zoomed in a little bit more, and by Sunday or by Sunday night, heavy snowfall into the Boston area and snowfall getting into northern New England, and then by Monday morning starting to get a bit closer to the coast, reaches the coast by Monday afternoon, and it stays all the way until Monday night, and then it exits into parts of Nova Scotia and other areas in southeastern southeastern Canada. Now, here's your total snowfall. Here's for the western United States, the Rockies, and in these blues, that's anywhere from about 1/10 of an inch of snowfall to about 3 inches. 3 to 6 inches in those purples, 6 to 12 inches in those pinks, and then 12 to about 24 inches in those greens. And if you are in those blues and grays, that's about 24 to 48 plus inches of snowfall. So some of these higher elevations getting close to 24 inches of snowfall. And then for much of these areas could see snowfall accumulating higher than 6 inches of snowfall. So very interesting there. Now here. Here over parts of the Northeast, we're seeing from the latest GFS model run, and the GFS has been quite consistent. Yesterday it was actually showing a bit weaker of a system, and it was showing it a bit further north, but it was a bit weaker. It was a more of a broad system, and it wasn't showing as heavily concentrated snowfall. But now it's a more of a southern New England type system, different than what we've seen this season. This fall, well, it's actually still fall, and we've still seen a couple of snowstorms here, but what's very different from what we've seen in the past this season, with 6 inches or more over parts of northern New England instead of southern New England, and then getting closer to the shore and the coast. So definitely interesting how that's working with this storm. So here's the NAM 12KM model, a higher resolution model, and you're seeing this only goes out 84 hours, so it's not going to cover the full storm for the Northeast, and it's not going to cover really the coastal low pressure forming, but you're going to see this storm is going to go out into parts of the Midwest, and we'll take a zoomed in look at this now. So it's going to go into the Midwest by Saturday morning, bring some heavy snowfall to those areas, and it's going to start branching out into parts of the Northeast come about Sunday. So if we move into the Northeast here, you're seeing by Sunday, snowfall starting to arrive, and then by Sunday night, snowfall's in southern New England, and then it starts to wrap around where that cold air is getting squeezed in with that moisture still there, so that's leading to some snowfall, a bit more widespread, especially as you're heading into the nighttime hours, getting a bit colder at the surface and in the and aloft. These temperatures aloft are very cold, well below freezing aloft. So you're gonna see snowfall up at the higher areas of the atmosphere, but you're not gonna really see that coming down to the surface if those surface temperatures are around 40 degrees. So even if it does come down to the surface, probably not gonna stick until you get overnight or early in the morning on Monday or Tuesday. Here's the snowfall from the NAM. So this would be for the western United States, and generally what the GFS is showing, but a bit more high resolution. Now here for the Midwest, you're seeing generally 6 to 12 inches of snowfall, and where those blizzard warnings are up, a bit more snowfall there, on right around 1.5 feet. Now here's for the Northeast, and the NAM has that snowfall reaching a bit further south and closer to the coast. So 3 inches really reaching down into Philadelphia, New York City, and then Boston getting slammed. Maybe a foot of snowfall, a couple of models are showing. Before I was really skeptical on whether they would see 12 inches of snowfall, but it's growing more likely that they will actually see a pretty good dumping of snowfall. Here, finally, we're going to look at the European model. So here at the Rocky Mountains, you're seeing by Friday morning, you're seeing that snowfall start to move into your area, and then it starts to kind of intensify into parts of the Midwest by Saturday morning, and then here's where the European is getting a bit different. So if we move into the Northeast here, you're seeing that snowfall move in by Monday afternoon, and then it kind of stays until Tuesday morning, and then it's still there by Tuesday afternoon, and then it kind of departs and exits. Now here's what the European is showing as far as snowfall. So a zoomed out look, and you're seeing about 1.5 feet over some areas in the Midwest. I should probably change the color actually. About 1.5 feet over some areas in the Midwest, and then close to 24 inches over parts of western parts of Massachusetts, northern parts of Connecticut, eastern parts of upstate New York, southern parts of New Hampshire and Vermont. So a big impactful storm coming out of this winter storm Ezekiel. Now here is here's a zoomed in look of the Northeast, and you're seeing that snowfall really not getting as far south as what we were looking at yesterday. Let me show you what the European was showing yesterday. Get ready. It was showing a foot over parts of New York City and into Boston. So it was a bit further south, but the low pressure was situated right around here. And today, the low pressure is situated right around here. So that's maybe a 50-mile difference, if that. And you're seeing drastic difference is now the snowfall is more around here instead of right around in here of what the European was showing yesterday. So a big difference. Now going back to what I think is more realistic, if you kind of cut these amounts in half, I really don't think 24 inches in early December is really unlikely for these areas, but maybe on close to 10 to 12 inches over parts of western Massachusetts and southeastern parts of upstate New York. Definitely could receive close to 6 to 12 inches of snowfall. Anyways, that is going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys really did enjoy this video, keeping you guys up to date. I tried to make as many of these videos as I can. I try my best to get daily uploads in, but sometimes I kind of get busy, so I try to get as many videos out and inform you guys on what's happening in the weather. Please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss a video when I upload. Also, consider leaving a like on this video. It really helps support the channel, and I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Anyways, that is going to wrap up the video. That was Eli the Weather Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.